Warm greetings from the high 10. It's Everyday Shenanigans. Thanks for joining me. Hope you all are having a safe and blessed weekend. Sunday is Easter Sunday, so I hope that you all will be able to partake in the festivities in your local community. If you patronize Easter and take the children out to church and hunt for Easter eggs thereafter. Thank you all so much for joining me. It is Friday in the high 10. Very nice, sunny here. I hope it is pleasant where you all are. Hello, how are you today? Thank you for joining me. As most of you know who follow the information pertaining to Summer Wells, 10 months ago to this date, a call went into a Hawkins County dispatch that a 5-year-old child by the name of Summer Wells went missing. And since that very phone call, she has not been seen or heard from. And I will bring you said information. I will give you my commentary, and feel free to join me in a discussion pertaining to the disappearance of Summer Wells 10 months later. Thank you for joining me. Hello, everybody in the chat. Happy Easter, everybody. Thank you.
Marks 10 months since little Summer Wells was reported missing. The now 6-year-old was last seen June 15th of last year. As you might remember, the initial ground search lasted about 10 weeks. Crews from the local sheriff's office and the TBI scoured the rough terrain around Summer's Beach Creek home. They also launched a search to find the driver of a red Toyota Tacoma, but to no avail. Ground search operations were scaled back, and as the lead detective told our sister station earlier this month, law enforcement is no closer to finding Summer than they were last June.
We've gone through hours and hours and hours of interviews, of video footage, of electronic data, just trying to find a specific direction to go in towards. Nothing has narrowed that down. So everything, as the sheriff has said, is still on the table.
Last month, the sheriff said Summer's family was no longer cooperating with authorities. So far, no criminal charges have been filed in the case. Now, if you have seen Summer or you know anything that can help investigators find out exactly what happened, you are asked to please call 1-800-TBI-FIND.
All right, everybody, that's WATE News 6 here in Knoxville, Tennessee. I am an East Tennessean. So for those of you who do not know that tune into this network and do not know my location, I'm an East Tennessean. I've been on YouTube a few years, and this story is one of the stories that I talk about on this network. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to give you a recap of the Summer Wells case. I will start from yesterday and work my way back to June 15th, 2021, with said information that was uploaded to news outlets pertaining to the disappearance of Summer Wells and the case surrounding her, including her bio donors and other outside parties. Thank you for joining me. One day ago, search for Summer. Where did she go? The day of June 15th. 1 week ago, District Attorney General speaks on Summer Wells' case for the first time. Also last week, lead investigator for Summer Wells' case speaks for the first time, and that's Mr. Pruitt, and the District Attorney General is Mr. Armstrong. December 28, 2021. Investigators have no updates on Summer Wells' disappearance. Fox 5 Atlanta, Summer Wells disappearance. Search continues for young girl. 1 month ago, News 11. Sheriff Lawson, Summer Wells family not cooperating right now. September 15th, 2021. 3 months and around 1,200 tips later, TBI says there is no update. WJHL source for that. We'll go back in February. Her case weighs heavily on all involved. Friday marked Summer Wells' 6th birthday. That was February 4th. Also, February 4th, Summer Wells' parents released a heart-wrenching video pertaining to the child. 1 month ago, WJHL, TBI focused on previous areas of interest in search for Summer Wells. Now we'll jump back to December. WJHL, December 15, 2021. Very real possibility that she wandered off. TBI continues to investigate. First of this year, News 5 is the source. Mother of missing Summer Wells accuses girl's father of assault. Police report. That was January 24th, 2022. Where's Summer Wells? November 14th, 2021. What investigators know nearly 5 months after her disappearance. 3 days before that, WJHL released information. Neighbor of Summer Wells says she heard a scream shortly before she went missing, and that is pertaining to a Jody Sue. Charlotte Observer went back to September 24th, 2021. Rumors on social media are derailing search for missing Summer Wells. Same week in November, Channel 11 says June 15th to now, timeline of the search for Summer Wells. Back in this year, Channel 10 News, Church Hill Rescue Squad provides update on the reward fund for missing Summer Wells. November 11, 2021, TBI provides continuing updates. This is News Crossville. November 2nd, The Sun. 7 chilling details in the case of missing Summer Wells. And this is pertaining to her shaved head. For those of you who are interested in that said commentary. Channel 11, WJHL. Timeline in the search for Summer Wells, June 20th, 21. July 2nd, The Independent. What happened to Summer Wells? Hunt for missing 5-year-old. July 26, 2021. News 11. Father of Summer Wells says sons have been removed from the family home. June 24th, WJHL. TBI, Summer Wells case outside of the norm as circumstances surrounding her disappearance. June 16th, Amber Alert, Summer Wells. This year, Don Wells, pleading guilty to DUI, February 7th, 2022. I thought all this was going to be in order, but it's not. December 10th, 2021. Search for Summer Wells. Social media sleuths flocked to Hawkins County. This is where some busybodies came to Tennessee and got 5 minutes of fame via the news. WJHL is the source. November 12th, 2021. WJHL. Takeaways from the Dr. Phil's episodes on the disappearance of Summer Wells. October 7th, 2021. News 8. Father of missing 5-year-old Summer Wells shows the trail where he believes child went missing. December 1st, 2021. News 5. Summer Wells investigators renew search efforts in wooded area near missing child's home. And in January of this year, Church Hill once again gave updates to the reward fund, which has been extended. June 28, 2021, Fox 13. Crews have searched over 3,000 acres in search for Summer Wells. June 15th, 10 News. Everybody still a person of interest in weeks-long search for 5-year-old. 2 days later, News 3. Tennessee Amber Alert. Search continues for 5-year-old Summer Wells. That's June 17th. September 24th, 2021, the Rogersville Review. Summer Wells case to be featured Wednesday on In Pursuit, and that was with John Walsh. October 31st, 2021. A stupid decision. Wells family releases statement after father got arrested for a DUI. News 11. November 11th, 2021. News 11. Don Wells addresses recent arrest and interview. Go back to July 6, 2021. Press circle held for Summer Wells 3 weeks after her disappearance. News Nation, prime exclusive. Summer Wells may have been abducted. November 16, 2021. Backtrack, July 17, 2021. News 3. Summer Wells Sabbath school teacher describes night 5-year-old disappeared. February 1st, 2022. News 11. Community to celebrate Summer Wells' 6th birthday. News 11, June 28, 2021. Mother of missing 5-year-old Summer Wells speaks on camera for the very first time. News 11. Police reported found after YouTuber allegedly films child inside Summer Wells church. That was January 12th of this year. News Nation, November 15th, 2021. Where is Summer Wells? Timeline of the search for the 5-year-old. October 25th, 2021. WKRN.com. Parents of missing 5-year-old Summer Wells set up YouTube channel. That was in October 21. December 21. December 10th. News 11. Summer Wells Reward Fund reaches nearly $74,000. News 11. Backtrack. August 11th, 2021. Hawkins County Sheriff addresses Summer Wells speculation. September 28, 2021. Same source. John Walsh covers the story of Summer Wells. WKRN.com, July 8th, 2021. Summer Wells, who's who in the missing 5-year-old Tennessee girls case. November 29th, 2021. News 11. It was like losing her all over again. Mother Summer Wells says why she walked off the stage of Dr. Phil's show. October 4th, 2021. News 11. Father of Summer Wells says he does not want reward fund to expire. August 11th, 2021. Kingsport Times News. Hawkins Sheriff says Summer Wells case has not grown cold. July 11th, 2021. Kingsport Times. Sheriff Lawson. Summer Wells case nowhere even close. I'll open that one up so we can see what it says. To being cold. That was in July. There's several pages, and I'm reading you every page in the Google search pertaining to all the news stories that came about pertaining to this child. September 23rd, 2021, News 11. There's still more questions than answers. TBI says investigators won't give up. News 11. Kingsport Police Department released report of worksite incident involving parents of Summer Wells. And that was January of this year, January 13th. And that is when the busybodies came to Tennessee going to Don Wells' job. January 13th, 2022. September 23rd, a month later after their first commentary about not giving up on the case. In August, they come back September 23rd. News 5 says TBI on Summer Wells' case. We haven't given up and we won't. That was September 23rd, 2021. News 11. Hawkins County Sheriff says no personal interest has been identified in the case missing Summer Wells. That's July 9th, 2021. John Walsh. Time for answers. September 29th, 2021. Fox 17, Nashville. July 13th, 2021. News 11. TBI officials call lacks of tips or leads in Summer Wells' disappearance frustrating. November 12th, 2021. News 11. Widespread disappearance of Summer Wells goes beyond Beach Creek. November 1st, 2021. Summer Wells' father arrested in court Monday on a violation of probation. News 11. Go back to 14th of August, 2021. Prayer circle hosted for Summer Wells' family and other missing children. January of this year, News 11, Hawkins County Sheriff 911 call at Wells residence. Candace Bly reports Don Wells for assault. January 13th of this year, Kingsport Times, editorial, hysterics won't help find Summer Wells. Last year, July 19, 2021, News 11, TBI, Amber Alert for Summer Wells will remain active until the child is located. September 28, 2021, her reward has surpassed $40,000. News 11. July 23rd, 2021, News 11. Nonprofit search and recovery group prepares for return to Hawkins County in search of Summer Wells. July 29th, 2021, News 11. EquiSearch Midwest issues statement regarding last weekend's search for Summer Wells. Reuters Review, October 11th, 2021. Summer Wells parents to appear on Dr. Phil to share. June 30th, 2021. Money added to the Summer Wells Reward Fund. Summer Wells' mom pleads, just bring her back. July 21st, 2021, Rogersville Review. July 24th, 2021, News 11. Nonprofit group asking to keep search area confidential in the Summer Wells case. July 16th, 2021, News 11. Mother of Summer Wells carries banner in parade seeking tips in the search for a child. WKRN, July 6, 2021. Summer Wells' investigation remains active and ongoing 3 weeks after her disappearance. August 1st, 2021, News 11. Hawkins County Sheriff, no psychics in use while searching for Summer Wells. They were not using or needed the help of psychics back in August 2021, News 11. July 25th, 2021, News 11. I'm still going to keep the faith, EquiSearch Midwest reports. No leads in the story. November 8th, 2021. Don Wells speaks on the camera for the first time following his DUI arrest, News 11. July 14th, 2021, News 11. Incident commander of the search for Summer Wells. There's been a very limited ground searching since the scaling back 9 months ago. News 3. Former investigator weighs in on the Summer Wells case, July 11th, 2021. News 11. Wells family appears on Dr. Phil's show, November 11th through the 12th. That was uploaded November 2nd, 2021 by News 11. Community members gathered to celebrate missing Wells' birthday, February 1st, 2022, News 5. The child turned 6 years old. Scaling back to last year, June 23rd, 2021, News 11. Father of Summer Wells says wife has passed lie detector tests. July 15th, 2021, News 11. Summer Wells pastor. Social media backlash faced by congregants is evil. July 23rd, rescuers gave the Hawkins County Commissioners a report on the said search for the child. Kingsport Times is the source. Rogers-Ville Review, February 8th, 2022. Donald Wells will serve 180 days in segregation. News 3. In July 3rd, 2021, mental health expert discusses the trauma surrounding the disappearance of Summer Wells. And once again, July 30th, 2021, by Fox News, the boy children were placed in the state's custody. June 19th, 2021, Wells Family's Church hosts service prayer vigil for the child. November 1st, 2021, gag order placed on case involving Wells family children in state custody. News 11 is the source. August 4th, 2021, News 11. TBI. Despite social media claims, truck driven by a potential witness still not found in the search for Summer Wells. That was uploaded August 4th, 2021. By September 6th, the reward for the child exceeded $38,000, Fox News. June 24th, 21. It's in the past, and we'll leave it there. Father of Summer Wells addresses criminal history. WJHL is the source. By October 12, 2021, the reward fund has surpassed $40,000. January of this year, the reward had passed $75,000. ABC 17 is the source. Last July 2021, the Rogers-Ville Review did an article, Who is Summer Wells? October 3rd, 2021, News 8. Sunday's top headlines. Investigation Discovery joins the ranks for discussion of the disappearance of Summer Wells. July 22nd, 2021, the family pleads for the child's safe return. Fox News is the source. August 6, 2021, News 5. TBI warns the public, beware of Summer Wells investigation scams. That was uploaded to Information August 6, 2021. July 13, 2021, the community gathered in Kingsport to pray for the safe return. Summer Wells, News 11. June 20th, 2021, WKRN, photos showed for the first time the house where the child allegedly went missing from in the Beach Creek community. December 14th, 2021, WYMT, Summer Wells' mother files a report of 6 people trespassing on her said property. News 5, last year, June 22nd, 2021. Donald's history comes into play. His domestic assault was revealed to the public, and the disappearance also of Summer Wells. And as I said in August, Sheriff Lawson told the public that everybody's still a suspect, person of interest. This was by Fox News, August 12, 2021. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you. God bless all of you. 18 pages I just read you in the Google search pertaining to the disappearance of Summer Wells. As I said, today marks 10 months that a 911 call was made into the Hawkins County Dispatch of a missing 5-year-old Caucasian girl child who has not been seen or heard from. There have been many speculations, innuendos, stories, lies pertaining to the disappearance of Summer Wells, her parents, side pieces, side shows, a lot of buffoonery pertaining to this child's disappearance. And in the end, not one viable lead has brought forth the whereabouts of the child. Some believe she's deceased, some believe she's alive. You're entitled to your opinion. But in the end, she's not visible where we can see her and where law officials can see her to say verbatim, she is okay. Where is Summer Wells? Will the truth ever be revealed to where she can be located? Will the parents ever tell the truth of what actually happened on June 15th? Will we continue to hear more lies and stories pertaining to alternate entities who want to immerse themselves in this case so badly? And as I have said in my commentary from day one, when I started talking about the story 2 weeks after she was reported missing, the endless lies and stories and people wanting to involve themselves is disrespectful to the child, is disrespectful to the law officials investigating, people searching, and to the truth. Because this is not a game. She's an actual human being who went missing. Did she actually go missing on that said day? I do not know. I wasn't there. The point is, she's a human being. And she also had brothers who are no longer in the parents' custody. Ward of the states. They too matter. This is not a game. Somebody knows what happened to the child. Somebody's responsible for the child. And if indeed the child is deceased, then that means somebody's responsible for her demise and her discardment. If she was sold, then that means the parents are culpable, responsible. If indeed sold or bartered alone, who took her and why? And why haven't you brought her forth? And what you have to always remember is, if the child was sold or bartered, loaned for felonious reasons, 9 times out of 10, they would harm the child because they wouldn't be able to bring her back in a decent manner, if you get my drift. So where is Summer Wells? What happened to her? Did she make it home on June 15th after leaving the swimming hole in Kingsport, Tennessee? Or was she discarded thereafter on the way home? Is her mother responsible for her death and or transference to another human being? Is the father, Donald Wells, responsible for the death and or transference of the child to another human being? Is the mother of Candace Bly, Miss Harrer, responsible for knowledge and or aiding and or participating to harming and or the discardment and or transference of the child to another human being? And some of you believe that the boy child, 15 years of age, is a culprit involved, but you do not have any verification or proof that the child harmed Summer Wells or did anything facetious, felonious with the said child, and or has knowledge of the child being sold, bartered, loaned, or deceased, or help aided in the discardment of Summer Wells. See, it's very easy to spin webs and stories according to your own imagination, but in the end, it's just your assumption. It's not the truth. It's a very sad day. It's a very sad day. It was sad the day the call went in to the dispatch. It was sad the day her brothers were removed to have to go into foster care. Not to say they belong with the Wells, but just as sad for any child to have to go into the state's custody. Because there's a scary feeling, even if you were in a bad situation, horrific situation with your caretakers, it's still going into the unknown, going into the abyss blind. And people don't understand that who have never been in foster care, who have never been taken away from their parents. And that's the thing I've said many times. The children are resilient. They can take a lot of blows, literally, and still love their caretaker. Still love their caretaker. Where is she? Who is responsible for her disappearance? And if indeed she is deceased, was it an accident, spur of the moment, orchestrated homicide, or selling of a child, bartering, loaning of a child? And who would be so cold to do either of those said things I just mentioned? Only someone diabolical and sinister. And anyone who's holding the lie, the secret to the disappearance of Summer Wells, you are also diabolical and sinister. And eventually you will pay the piper. And maybe not in this life, but you will in the next. And all I can say is, have mercy on your soul. Because she should be here enjoying life. She didn't ask to be here, and her brothers didn't choose to be here. And nor did the other children of Miss Bly and Mr. Wells choose to be here, choose them as parents, choose their upbringing. None of us chose our parents or our upbringing. They did that. And you have no right to subject your children to anything felonious, disruptive, because they didn't ask to be here. Thank you for joining me. This is Everyday Shenanigans. If you'd like to donate to the channel, $McGangie, 129 Cash App, all Super Chats are welcome in this live. Thank you all so much for the kind words, stickers and chats, super stickers. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I will now drop the link. If anyone wants to give their commentary on this case and where they think it is going, the suspects in this case, is the child somewhere hidden, or is she deceased? Was it an accident, orchestrated, planned? Your thoughts? One moment, please. Happy Easter to all of you in the chat and those listening. Thank you so much for patronizing. Have a safe weekend, all of you. If you have any commentary, please join us. Thank you so much. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining me. Happy Easter to everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. If you have any commentary pertaining to the disappearance of Summer Wells, hit the link to give your opinion pertaining to the said information that has been relayed in this live. I gave you a brief synopsis of what took place from June 15th up until today. All said articles, commentary pertaining to the disappearance of the child, things that transpired pertaining to the case, the search, reward, things that happened with the parents, outside parties. All of them have been mentioned with a source. Thank you for joining me. Well, honey, it's a bad day. It is. But you have to keep faith that the truth will be revealed, that her remains will be found. If indeed she is deceased, we have to pray that the truth will be revealed. That's all you have. You have to have faith. Hit the link if you have something you'd like to say. 10 months in, we're approaching a year. Sadly, we're approaching a year. Did not think this time would go by. This much time would go by, but it has. It's very sad. I never thought this much time would go by. Well, Helen, it's what the world was made of. They're cruel people. But you have to find some solace in something, or you'll go crazy if not. Yes, it's a terrible situation. Anybody missing, a child or an adult, because 9 times out of 10, the person didn't go on their own. Someone got them gone. So that's the horrific part of a person or child missing. They didn't walk out on their own. Someone got them gone. And that somebody, or plural, they know where they are, where the child person is, but they won't tell it until the back is up against the wall and perhaps they decide to tell the truth. So far, we have not been fortunate to have that happen in this case. Someone coming forward to give truthful and factual information pertaining to the child and where she can be found. It's sickening. It's very sickening. There's not very much you can do. That's why I said you have to pray and hope that the truth will be revealed. That someone somewhere will say, okay, enough of this. I'm going to go ahead and tell what I know pertaining to her disappearance. That's all you got. Gotta hope and pray. We will see. But with all that's been transpiring in the queue, it's very disrespectful to her and to anyone missing, because some of the things I've seen, it could be humorous to some degree, but then you realize it's not humorous. The jokes, the people poking fun at the people who have gotten themselves in these, as I say, line of fire, wanting to be involved, just the craziness, things that shouldn't be transpiring pertaining to this case. Most of the stuff that's happened shouldn't even be happening. It's bad enough the child is missing. We don't have any control over that. But the other things that are going on with the bio donors and the other people involving themselves in the case is just disrespectful. And it's sickening that people are making videos about these stupid people and cracking jokes. And it's sad. Because I was listening to something late this morning and some of the commentary is funny, but then I also have to tell myself that it's sickening to be listening to this because it's just sickening. When a person can just sit up and go on for hours talking about a fool who has immersed themselves in a case, that's when you know it's out of control and it's bad. It's very bad. If you'd like to give your commentary, hit the link. Please join us if you like. If not, I will check out of here. It's a beautiful day in the high 10. Too pretty to actually be inside. Thank you, Helen. Thank you for joining me. 104 viewing. Yeah, this is a bad day. A very bad day. It's just sad that nothing's come from all this gossiping and lies and stories and parents talking. Nothing. But that's the sad information coming out of Rogersville, Tennessee. Summer Wells is still missing 10 months later. There have been no new information revealed to the public by law enforcement. As most of you know, a Mr. Armstrong has come forward to speak, the Attorney General, and Mr. Pruitt, the lead detective in the Summer Wells case, has spoken. So we've had two people speak in the past week pertaining to this case and their roles in the case and what their duties are. And I feel like they gave the best rendition they could give of what they do and what their titles are. Now, some may believe that them coming forward may be a sign that there is an indictment coming. I do not know. Many have judged the fact that they know that the grand jury met this week, that that's a sign that possibly this case is on the docket. To be on the docket, I do not know. I don't have any confirmation, and you won't get any confirmation because grand jury deliberations are secret. The people on the panel are secret. The cases are secret for that very reason, because they don't want to bring harm to the said people who are rendering the decision yay or nay. And they don't want the people who are being investigated to know that they are possibly going to have a charge, which is common sense. Thank you, Lisa. Yes. And that's the one thing that people don't seem to understand, is that there are other children involved besides Summer. There are living children. And these two have other children, grown or not, it doesn't matter, they're still their children, who possibly have endured same upbringing as these said 4 children, unfortunately. And you have to pray for them that they will find their way in the world and become or be successful, productive human beings. Because their fate could be the same, to end up like their parents. And who wants to end up like these two? It's sad. No one should ever want to end up like these two. I don't care where you're from, who raised you. Nobody should ever want to end up like Don and Candace, nor be awarded a state, a child awarded a state. But that is what the state is for. When nobody else can come in to take a child out of horrendous situations, violent situations, dire situations, that is the state's job. They have a job to do, whether you like them or not, whether you think they're doing right. And as I've said, you can't judge every agency the same, because you have countless of people working in an agency. So no way you can judge everybody the same, because you don't know the people. You don't know who's in charge of what. You don't know the dynamics of the case. You don't know anything. You're going by what you think is going on. That's not good enough. You have to have a receipt to a case and what is going on in the case before rendering who's responsible of not doing something, not carrying their weight. And there's always going to be somebody doing something wrong, fudging documents, not telling the whole truth, letting somebody get a pass. That's life. Happens in every arena, every job, every field, everything. Somebody always gets a pass. Well, sweetheart, there was once an angel in heaven that disobeyed, and he was cast out. That's why. You have to go back to the beginning of the world if you believe in the Bible. He was cast out and put in a pit. And that's where he's stayed and reigned down there. So he's done all he can do to wreak havoc by using human beings. The world has always been corrupt. It's not just today, yesterday, last year. The world has always been corrupt. And that's why she pays so dearly, because she has never been right in the first place. And we will continue to pay for the sins of our fathers and mothers and others' wrongdoings, because that's just the way the world is. Hello, everybody in the chat. Thank you for joining. Hello, Ansley. How are you, sweetheart? Well, that's the information I have pertaining to Summer Wells. Gave you a backdrop of what transpired in the past 10 months pertaining to events, prayer vigils, different things, and things that happened with her parents. Okay. Critical thinking's here. Hello.
Hi, Queen. I don't know if I'm echoing. Do I need to turn off my YouTube in the background, or can you hear me okay?
I can hear you okay.
Oh, good. Yeah. Now, I've only just come into the live 5-10 minutes ago, so I've missed what you've been saying, but I have been following everything over the past 10 months, and especially the past week with all the drama that's been going on. So I don't know what aspect it is you want to address. So
well, I really don't want to talk really crazy talk, because it's her day, but yeah, it is an open chat, so I'll just let you tread. I'll let you tread on.
Well, I think that in the last week, with all this information that's been rumoured about the brothers of Summer Wells, is disgraceful, in my opinion. And I think that people have lost, like Helen said, they've lost humanity. They have. We've lost boundaries on what's acceptable and not acceptable, and forgot that these are human beings. These children have feelings. They're going to see everything on YouTube at some point. They're traumatized. They're the survivors here. And it really upsets me, and I can understand why Helen's upset, because there's days when I get upset and I don't even know these people,
Right.
and I can't work out why it affects me emotionally. So I can understand why, especially as women, childbearing by nature, why we feel an emotional attachment to the case. I think something's coming, Queen. I really do. I think what I can read from what the district attorney said, he has given little clues. He said something that stuck out to me about the CPS case spilling over and causing complications for the criminal case.
Yes.
So to me, that would indicate there's definitely going to be some CPS charges at the very least, definitely. So I think we can rest assured.
But they should have done it before. Don't you think they should have done that in the beginning when they decided to make the decision to take the children out? You found some reason to remove them, so you should have further investigated and brought forth charges against both parties.
I think, Queen, in my opinion, what I've always thought from the beginning, the reason why they haven't pulled them in on the CPS charges is not only, one, because they're going to build as much evidence to throw the book at them.
Okay.
So if they take them in early, they might not capture as much evidence as they would if they just thought, you know what, you carry on, which is sometimes a strategy used in investigations, is just to let people hang themselves.
Yeah.
And I think having them out on the street, Don and Candice and Grandis, would allow the police to gather more evidence than putting them in prison for CPS
well, you
charges.
know what, Megan Boswell, they brought her in online, which I thought was a very good idea, because the lying led to her eventually confessing to killing the child. Now, I just found this out days ago. I never knew that she had told them where the child was. See, they never reveal that. That is why I tell people, police don't tell you everything that's happening in a case. And Megan Boswell is a prime example. She told them where she was. She was dead. But they never let us know, hey, she came in here and told us the baby's dead. They never told it. We're just now finding that out a few days ago.
See, I didn't even know that. That's very interesting.
So that's
very
my point. They brought her in originally on lying to police. That's her original charge, is lying.
Lying, so perverting the course of justice. That's interesting. So that goes to show that the police, the police have many different strategies to
and they do know stuff. And they do know stuff that they do not tell. So that's why I tell everybody to quit getting upset and cussing and saying who's not doing their job, when just now you find out that they knew she was dead. They didn't tell us. Wow.
And Queen, from the beginning, I have always stuck up for law enforcement in Summer's case, because I understand what you just said. The police have their ways of doing things, and they're being hostile to the public for a reason.
Yes.
There's a reason, because they cannot give anything away.
Why would I? If I'm
they don't owe us anything. This is what people don't understand. Exactly. It's only social media that's that makes these videos, these silly creators that make videos where they don't have any understanding of police investigations, calling Ronnie Lawson corrupt and everything. How do they know? The man's been
because you're going on gossip. Because you're going on some gossip. Gossip. One person starts the rumor.
The man didn't get to the head of his game in Hawkins County. 40 years in law enforcement. If he was that bad. Now, any police officers, I've said with 30 plus years, in law enforcement, it's going to have some bad history somewhere along the line. These police officers, like even Chris McDonough, they pulled up some dirt about him. I said, show me a police officer who's been in the force for 30 years who hasn't got a little bit of dirt on them. Because it's the nature of the beast that being police officers, you've got to do little sly things to get your information. You've got to bend things to get the results. And it's not always right. And there's corruption in every single police force, whether it be America, England, it's everywhere. There's no police force that's exempt to corruption, none.
Sure.
So this is something people need to understand, that when they're slating down Ronnie Lawson and the TBI, the Ronnie Lawson must be laughing, thinking these people haven't got a clue. They just don't have a clue. And the more they keep their cards close to the chest, the more chance they've got of a conviction, Queen, the more chance they've got of securing what they've got.
Okay.
I started watching the footage of the chief of police. His name has just slipped my mind. I'm sure you know it. The one in Classic and Sincere's case, and he obviously now in hindsight we know they knew 7 days in to the
Now,
case.
isn't that amazing? But isn't that amazing?
Amazing.
But
And I thought,
because and in a way it's kind of offensive as well too, because you've got people walking around very concerned,
yeah,
people in the community. You have to count the people who live over that neighborhood. They didn't know what was going on. They didn't know if somebody's out here just up snatching children. How would they know?
I know. And the thing is, the law enforcement in Classic and Sincere's case, the chief of police, had to play poker face and pretend that they knew nothing and still allow people to search for the boys, still allow all this crazy drama around the case of certain YouTubers, defending the suspects. And there was not much the police could do, because if they did, they're going to start giving information away. So I started watching his interviews after the 7 day period, when I knew that he knew that they were responsible for the murder of Classic and Sincere. And it's really interesting when you contrast that with Ronnie Lawson and the TBI interviews, because you can see similarities. It's what they don't say. It's what law enforcement don't say that people need to focus on, not what they say. And you can really see, if people go back and watch the interviews of the chief of police in Classic and Sincere, they will see what I'm talking about. These officers have to play poker face. They have to lie to the public.
But I always felt like that chief knew something, because it's like when Brian would ask him questions, it's almost like he had to really think about what he was going to say or not say. And I kept telling myself then he knows something.
Yeah, it was almost like he was the suspect, because he was very evasive with certain questions and very coy, and but he did not give it away. He, like you said, clever people could read in between the lines and say he knows something, but at the same time, he never named them as suspects. He never, ever. And when people were asking questions about the other, he had to play that, and he had to give interviews for public pressure, knowing he was going to stand in front of the world and lie. And this is what's happening, I believe, in Summer's case. This is why you see Ronnie Lawson lately in all his interviews with dark glasses on. He doesn't want people to see his eyes. You can tell his hostility towards he can't hide the hostility now towards the prime suspects, being the three adults in the case. You can see the hostility from the beginning, because when has he ever told anybody, leave the family alone, stop harassing them, stop? He hasn't. Nobody in law enforcement has ever come forward, eliminated Don Candice or grandmother as the suspects. They have not.
But see, that's what people should have realized. Something was up with them when they were never removed as culprits. At some point during an investigation, the parents should be removed first and foremost.
Especially because of the bullying aspect, because of the lynch mob aspect as well. Law enforcement have not removed them. In fact, law enforcement talked about everything but the suspects from the beginning. They have never addressed Don Candice and Grandis in any public, interview or statement that they've given in terms of they've never eliminated them. So that's always shown me they are the prime suspects.
That was obvious. That was obvious to me.
Yeah, but the investigation
took that long to remove them as suspects.
And not only that, in all missing children cases, as we all know, the main suspects will be a family, A and A is the last people to see that child alive. Now, until the police can eliminate those people that were last to see the child alive, they can't move the investigation, and they won't move beyond there. They won't move it. So the investigation's still stuck with gathering evidence against the three prime suspects. And I believe that's what they've been doing for 10 months, building their case on the three prime suspects. And I think the reason the CPS case has caused complex issues for the police is because I believe they've wanted them out, because I've always said from the beginning, don't underestimate law enforcement's ability to put audio probes around that house and to gain evidence when Don and Candice are speaking at night and things like that. especially in absence of enough evidence to bring a charge. They've got to look for other ways to get evidence without the body. They have to. And one of those ways that police do that is they go to the courts and get a warrant for covert surveillance. And I've said from the beginning, there's no reason why they wouldn't have gone to the court to get they've got all the grounds to get a warrant to put them under surveillance. All the grounds, there's a missing child and possible neglect of the other children and drug and alcohol misuse. And previous history, both parents have got previous history of criminal offences, criminal behaviour. They're both substance misusers, and there's a whole heap of other problems that come with Don and Candice and Grandis. So there's no way that the police have not been watching them. There's no way. That's very naive to think the police have not been watching and listening and have their phones tapped. So when I see videos, like, you know, YouTubers say, oh, Don's phone's been downloaded. The TBI know everything. They know all of this. They know all the calls certain creators have been making to Don and Candice. They will all have been recorded. So I hope certain creators who push themselves right in the thick of it know exactly what they were saying on those phones. And they better hope that nothing comes of criminal charges for them down the line. Because it's very stupid to start talking and fraternizing with prime suspects, especially when they could be under surveillance. It's very naive. And it shows me that people who think they know what they're doing have no clue what they're doing. But yeah, it's a sad state of affairs, but I can't see any reason why law enforcement will not be bringing charges in the future. I believe they will. I believe they will. It might not be for Summer's disappearance, but I think they're going to build a case to throw the book for CPS charges at them. At the very least, if they can't get the evidence, that the law enforcement know who's responsible, but knowing it and proving it is two different things. But they can't take what they've got to a grand jury unless they know they've got enough to secure a conviction. They might have enough to secure an arrest. They might have enough to secure a charge, but have they got enough to secure a conviction? Mm-hmm. This is why the DA, he gave the game away as well. He's in very close contact with law enforcement throughout this case, as he said, because they're probably, in my mind's eye, going to the DA with all the information they've got, and the DA keep knocking them back, saying, no, it's not enough. It's not enough. We need more. And I need the body. We need that body. And I can see that being the case. The contrast with the Classic and Sincere case is that DA stood up and said, we've got enough without the bodies of those children. We've got enough. And I think that's what they might be struggling with. Is in Summer's case, the circumstantial evidence is just not meeting that threshold to secure a conviction. It might be enough to secure a charge, but the DA will not bring a case unless he's certain that a jury is going to convict them with the evidence they've got. Otherwise, they get one shot, as we know, and one shot only. And the DA is not going to risk it. Even if law enforcement are begging him, please, we think we've got enough. The DA's standard is much higher than law enforcement's standard of evidence. And I see that a lot, you see it. The DA knocks back law enforcement all the time in terms of, no, go back to the drawing board, find more, get more, you need more.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about the fact that Lawson came forward and said that the family, he didn't say one or the other, he said the family, they are not cooperating?
I guess this months ago when Don did an interview with that another channel months and months ago. It was the first channel that got Don onto YouTube, and I specifically, vividly remember him saying that Ronnie Lawson had contacted them again. This is very early on in the case when he first went on YouTube. It was his first ever interview on YouTube, in fact. And he said that Ronnie Lawson had phoned them up again and requested Candice to come in for an additional lie detector test. Nothing to do with the initial lie detector test that she took in that first week. They couldn't do it the first day. She had to go back 5 days later.
Yeah, she was upset, yeah.
Yes, not that one. This was where Don said Ronnie had contacted him and said, we want Candice back in. Don told Ronnie Lawson, I don't trust you. I don't want nothing to do. We're not having anything to do with you. I don't trust your lie detectors. And the only people we're going to deal with is the TBI. Now, from the moment that he said that, law enforcement would just cross a line over that and say, do you know what? They're not cooperating. There's no pretty pleasing. Law enforcement are not going to beg you or please come in, and you're just going to go down as uncooperative, and that's that. And another reason.
Let me ask you this: when do you think they stopped? Right early on, when he made the comment about her not doing the lie detector test, because remember he came back and said she passed it. So,
but now there's questions about that. You know, there's questions.
Not that I'm saying I believe him, because you know I don't believe nothing Don said, but I'm just saying.
I won't believe nothing Don says. He said they passed, but as we know, Queen, that the law enforcement can say whatever to make sure those suspects don't abscond and leave state and go somewhere else. He has to give them a full.
Oh, they were not going anywhere. They're too comfortable. They're not that type. It's obvious. They're very comfortable. Her being on live right now shows you her demeanor before the child went missing, and now they're comfortable. They like mess. They like drama. They weren't going anywhere.
Yeah, I think law enforcement would establish that by now, but I think in the early days, it's always going to be the most prime importance for law enforcement is that those suspects don't go a place. That is the most important thing. So what I can glean from that is it don't surprise me if law enforcement does turn around and say, yeah, they passed the lie detectors when they didn't, because they want to give Don and Candace a full sense of security. That wouldn't surprise me. We don't know the details, of that. She might have passed some questions, she might have failed some. But the important thing is, as well, is I've always thought, how could law enforcement rely on any results of a lie detector test when Candace is a drug addict? She's a substance misuser. So how can you even lie detect someone who's take substances? I never understood that, why they even thought that could be a reliable source of an investigation.
Well, I'm sure all that was mentioned when she was fidgeting and whatever. They probably asked her, have you been drinking? Did you take a sedative? No, 9 times out of 10, she probably told them the truth. Yeah, I took something. And they knew, well, we can't, it's not going to be accurate with somebody, on something.
But I think from what we've seen of Candace, that the chances of her being sober are very, very slim. And even if she woke up in the morning sober, she's still going to have the drugs and alcohol in her system. So I don't understand why they could rely on any results from her lie detector test as fully accurate. She's under the influence. In the UK, we don't have lie detectors. The law enforcement don't even use it as an investigatory tool. They've rubbished them here in the UK.
Well, it's just like what detectives will tell you. We already know they're not allowed in court as evidence, but what they're saying is it's a start. It's an investigative tool.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not saying it's ironclad.
Oh, yeah, but even in the UK, the police won't even use it as an investigation tool. They do not. It hasn't met the UK standards of scientific whatever to say it's a reliable investigative tool. The police.
I think the reason why they use it here. Listen to me, sweetheart. The reason why they use it, I believe, is what I just said. It's a jump off. I want to see if you're going to even say yes or no. See, think about it now.
Yeah.
You're involved in a crime, perhaps. So the first thing I want to do is just talk to you and ask you, what did you do today? When did you last see the person? First thing I throw out, besides all those basic questions, well, would you mind taking a lie detector test? See, that tells me your demeanor first off the bat, if I ask you. And if you tell me,
like you established the baseline.
If I prefer not to, then that sends a message to me, well, why not? This is your kid. Your wife, your husband missing. Why would you not want to? So see, that throws off a red flag. And see, that's the jump off. I want to see how you respond to basic things that can eliminate you as a suspect.
This is why I think the moment when Ronnie Lawson said that to the press, it was to do with that early lie detector test that she refused from Hawkins County. And TBI never offered her the test that Don requested. He said, I want TBI to do it. TBI didn't do it. They were like, whatever, you'll be uncooperative from there. The police are not going to beg for your cooperation. And also what I think as well is the fact that it seems to me from what Candace is saying that she's never called law enforcement for an update into the investigation.
Why would she?
Well, that will also go down as non-cooperative. She's also refused the victim's advocate from TBI. That would go down as uncooperative. You
Wait,
refuse
slow down. She refused to what?
the victim advocate, which anybody in a missing child's case is offered automatically for the family. It's like a family
Well, see,
liaison.
if you know you've harmed the child, listen to me, listen. If you know you've harmed the child, you didn't want the child, that's why you harmed the child. You're not going to do anything in regard to help the case.
Absolutely.
And
I
that's
think
why you have all this going on with these people
yeah,
right now.
and I think that alone would show law enforcement that she wasn't cooperating. Why would you refuse the family advocate that you're being offered for free and then take this Tim Mullins person? You know, you were offered, she was offered a media, from law enforcement who could be her go-between with the press. It's a package that you're offered in a missing child's case.
Because the advocate is going to ask questions. See, them picking this guy out is totally different than somebody that's serious and about the business. A serious advocate is going to ask questions about your life, what you don't do, and they knew that. So they couldn't, duck, shuck and jive around with the advocate. Trust me.
And with an advocate, they're assigned exclusively.
Recently experienced this with somebody in the advocate here.
They definitely didn't want the advocate. And I think that would have been a massive red flag for law enforcement. They refused the family advocate. Massive red flag, because why would you do that when that advocate is your go-between between you and law enforcement? They are the go-between. That's why law enforcement haven't contacted Candice, Grandis or Don in the last since the early days, because that's the job of the family advocate. They're your go-between between the family and law enforcement. They are like the communications officer who ring law enforcement every day for an update, and they feed that update back to the family. They feed questions that the family have to law enforcement. And not only that, I've thought as well, all the videos that have been released on YouTube, with people making the videos of who they think could be suspect, the church, this one, that one. If I was the mother and I've seen videos of YouTube saying they think this person might be involved, it would be natural instinct to get straight on the phone to law enforcement and say, I've just seen this video on YouTube where someone said they think this person might be involved in my daughter's disappearance. Have you checked them out? Can you please check them out? Even if it was irrational, as a mother, any video that gets released on YouTube where someone's saying this person's a bit suspect, this person's an SA offender in the area, I'll be on the phone saying, listen, I've heard about this SA offender in the area. You need to check him out, or have you checked him out? A parent would be pressuring law enforcement with every YouTube video release where the parent would be getting on law enforcement's nerves. Because law enforcement would be saying, don't worry, we check them out. We've done this. She's named a list of people she thinks are now suspects, which is ridiculous, I know. It's not even worth dignifying Candice with any kind of thought process of why she's named these people. It's obviously just deflection, but
late in the game. Too late in the game, because that's what you would have done day one.
You would have done it day one if you thought your neighbour across the way was a suspect. She's named Jodie Sue as one of us. She even named Don as one of her top suspects.
Yeah, but my thing is, I wouldn't have let my husband run over everything and talk. If I had something I wanted to say and I wanted to relate it to the public, I would have done it. He wouldn't have kept me from talking. I feel like the only reason why she's talking now is because he's gone. If he was still here, he wouldn't be talking.
It's like, what she reminds me of, like how Stella got her groove back. Mm-hmm. That's what Candice reminds me of. It's like as soon as Don's out the picture, she's a new, she's come out of her shell. She loves the male attention.
But that's the reason why I say, well, why not have done that beforehand?
But Don wouldn't let her, would he?
Yeah. But let's go back before the child went missing. How about you took your way in life, put your foot down, and done this while you had your children?
Ah, there you go. Yeah.
That's my thing. You had ample enough time to be you before the children got missing and taken out of state care. You had time to change your life before you met Don. You could have changed your life before you met Don. See,
I think she's been a drug addict from a very young age. She probably never had any rational feeling. She's probably been numb for many, many years.
Well, it's obvious when you watch the interviews, the few little things I've watched of her recently, she is numb. The fact that she can talk and barter with a person in conversation, her child's missing. The way I was listening to her talk to Ernie last night or late this morning was sickening to me. You got to think positive. No, you should be thinking positive. Or you telling somebody else they should think positive.
Exactly. It's craziness. What I'm seeing with her is, to me, is crazy. It's crazy. And it must be very frustrating for law enforcement to know they know who's done it, who's responsible, but they don't meet the threshold of evidence. They know they've probably got evidence. I'm sure that's enough to bring her in, but there's no point. There's no point. There's no point bringing her in until they can throw that book at her, and those charges are going to stick like glue.
Okay. Let's go back in history. The red truck has not been mentioned in months. What do you think happened with that?
I think that was a red herring, because it never made sense to me. Who saw it? Who's this person that saw a red truck, and why?
It was somebody in the community that they trusted. I do remember reading that.
I remember they said it was like someone driving past on their way to work, just an independent witness who did not know the family and did not know. So that's what made me feel, okay, it's a credible witness.
They said they trust the judgment of the person that gave the information.
Yes, it was like a working person who was on their way to, work or whatever, and didn't have any connection with the family. So that would be a credible witness. Someone who does not know the family at all would be deemed. That truck's always been a mystery to me, I'll be honest with you. It's been a mystery, because what I hear is that particular make and model of truck is very common in that part of the US.
Well, a lot of men drive trucks here, because a lot of men do,
and red ones.
labor. Yeah. So.
Yeah, with the ladder racks and that. Yeah, that apparently it's like in England, that's equivalent to a white van. All the workmen here, they drive white vans. So that's like saying, oh, someone was seen in a white van, a transit van. That's exactly the equivalent in England. Every tradesman drives a white van. So it's almost like, well, the whole county's full of red Tacoma trucks, no, with ladder racks. I mean, it's always been. But then the Tim Mullins guy's got a red Tacoma with a ladder rack. So why didn't they pull him in? I don't understand it, Queen. Honestly, that part of it, and why have law enforcement fizzled that out? Why have we not heard about the red truck again?
Because they told you at the end a few months ago in the winter that it's they don't really have faith in that either.
Okay, so I didn't know that. They've eliminated that. Mm-hmm. Okay, they've eliminated it. But they did put a lot of focus.
Strange that anything that's been mentioned by an outsider has been basically debunked. The scream and the red truck have basically been debunked, and you haven't heard no more about them since winter.
I think the only thing I can think of is why the red truck was such an issue at the beginning with law enforcement would be they would have to go through every length possible to eliminate all the other theories, i.e. the abduction theory.
Somebody saw the truck hanging around the house at that time. Because my thing is, cars and trucks pass through neighborhoods all the time. You can't really say what a car was doing unless it was sitting motionless.
Well, this is it. It'd have to have been look suspicious for law enforcement.
That's what I'm saying. It had to have been near the house.
Like I said, I believe it would have had to have been stationary. Maybe even with no one in the truck, just there, and very unusual to the person who drove past, who's never seen anything like that. Right. It's a difficult one, because there was loads of tree surgeons in the area that day. I mean, there were work people in the area, weren't there, cutting down the trees. But yeah, the truck is always in.
Let me tell you something that I was so glad I saw this morning to prove that it wasn't an abduction. When Ernie went up there to take the pizza, he was huffing and puffing coming back. That's your sign a random person didn't go up there. If he's out of breath, panting to take a pizza up to somebody's house or put it on the car, however he did, that should tell you what it would have been like for a random person who does not know the area to go up a drive, day, night, whatever, to do anything. Yeah.
That's such a good observation, Queen. That's an on-point observation.
Oh my goodness!
And another thing to add to the observation, and another thing to add to your on-point observation, Ernie's a non-smoker.
And turn your car up going up the drive, because it broke up at the bottom.
And he's a non-smoker. Let's just get that out there. Ernie is a non-smoker.
But see, so that doesn't matter. It's the drive itself. It's steep and it's broke up near the bottom. So if I'm not familiar with the property and I've just been scoping through trees or whatever, I've got to be able to get up the drive or go through the trail or either side of the property to come up Ain't
I've
no way
seen
they
that
can be danger
incline.
one.
That incline at the side, you know, that dog track. When you see it from the road, looking up to the house, that incline, I couldn't climb up there. Mm-mm, mm-mm. I would be.
You're not coming in any direction. Let me tell you, you're not coming by the road. You're not coming through the trail. You're not coming on either direction from that house because it's a circular drive. You're not coming from behind the house, side of the house, up the drive.
Nah.
You're not coming either way.
Impossible.
Because most people don't get down like that trying to go get nobody. I've had to been there to know what I want out of there.
Exactly, and you can't see from the road up to who's in the house. It's not like you're on flat level ground and you're walking past a property and you can see children playing in the front yard. It's not like that. You can't see from the road who is playing outside because the incline is like a mini mountain. It's a proper incline. I didn't realize until I saw the actual the vantage point from the street looking up to that dog track, from not looking down from the house to the street, looking from the street up from the dog track. I thought, no way. I could not, I wouldn't even attempt to climb up it. That's a lot steeper than I ever thought it was. And I only saw that the other day on another creator's channel who she asked the local, could they film it from that vantage point, looking up to the house, not looking down as we've all seen it, but looking straight up to the house from the dog trail. And I thought, whoa, no way is anyone going to scramble down that holding a child. It's exactly, Queen. The abduction theory is gone. Even Mr. Shell said himself that he said after going up there himself,
that's what I'm talking about. Yeah,
he said there's no way. And he said even the other guy in the car said it, and they come from Tennessee. They said no way, there's no way. So I don't think that was very well thought out by the prime suspects at all. That was not very well thought out. They didn't.
Well, I live in Tennessee, so let me tell you something. Like I tell people, I live here. I know how the people live here. I haven't heard of any stories of anybody just wandering around on people's properties taking their children. I haven't heard one story since I've been living in East Tennessee of somebody going back up in the rural areas, kidnapping a child out of the house or on the property.
Never. The only other case that comes close is the Madeleine McCann case, where they said that the abductor went into the hotel room and took the child, which nobody, the majority of people.
That's still a different situation. That's a public place, but you still would have to have had knowledge to know there's a child in the room. You have to know that somebody's not in there with the child. See, you still with a door locked.
You'd have to have some insider knowledge. Exactly. So there is no way that a stranger went up there. No way. And there's no way she got abducted. Look, I just can't see it being someone they knew who sneaked up and took her, because there's too many inconsistencies with the prime suspects. There's too many for it to even be someone they know that didn't know who took her. You see what I mean? Like someone they know who's been watching. No way. They have guilty knowledge. We know this. We've seen all
Alex said in the previous interviews with a certain network that the dogs would bark and come down running to anybody. So that means you would have heard the dogs and somebody would have got up to see why the dogs were barking.
And then when the dogs were brought into it, Don tried to even lie and say there were no dogs there that day. But if you were at work, how would you know that?
But that's just something I'm going to say because I have guilty knowledge. Anybody these people only give a response according to what people were talking about.
Absolutely.
That's how I know they're watching social media, because every time they give a response, it was an illogical response.
What they're doing is they give a reactive response, not a proactive response. So they just they're just feeling out as people ask these suspicious questions, they give an answer to negate that. But what they do,
that's why I know they're involved, because just like at the beginning of the story, when Candace told the news lady that I don't walk off into the property, and then she also mentioned that again with Ernie. Okay, think about that for a second. The story is about Summer. What you were supposed to say is Summer wouldn't wander off. She wouldn't walk into the woods. You're saying what you wouldn't do. That was in response to people questioning the dispatch call of the dispatcher saying, well, she took a run.
That's
and people started asking me, where did she go? So then she had to come up with a response. So they've been watching social media from day one.
Yeah, but you see what Candace didn't realize when she gave that first interview to the local network that we all saw on the 29th of June. That was the biggest red flag in the case and still remains the biggest. Reason being, somebody told the dispatch, and it had to be done. I've done a video on it. I've proved it. I've done all the substantiating dispatch calls to back up what I'm saying. The dispatch call was told by Don that the mother has left the property for a walk. She came back and the child was gone. Now, what's happened is in that WJHL interview, when they asked Candice, did you go for a walk? She said, no, the bears and coyotes, I would never go for a walk. I'm scared of, as we know, we've all heard that famous comment. Now, she was so high in that interview, she did not realize the significance of sticking to the script that she left that property. She did not understand the evidential significance of sticking to that part of the story.
But she didn't plan it. She didn't plan it thoroughly.
Exactly. Don's given her the script. She never stuck to it because she was high.
Because they only had a few hours to come up with whatever they were going to say.
And then I've even had people,
whatever.
Yeah, I've even had people leave comments on my video and I've played the evidence. I've played it for them. They've even said, oh, maybe the dispatch got it confused with she was walking to Granny's trailer. Dispatch officers don't get confused.
I don't think the woman got it wrong. If you told somebody, hey, I went on a run, you either went running off the property or you jumped in your car, which we say that in Tennessee. I'm sure they say it in other places. Hey, I went for a run. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to make a run.
Yeah. We say in the UK, I'm just going to run to the shops, but you're getting in your car.
But that's what we say. I'm going to make a quick run.
Yeah,
that's
I'm going to make a run.
Running anywhere. It means I'm going to get in my car and go on my own, or I'm getting in the car with somebody else.
Yeah, we say that, but the dispatch said walk. The mother has gone for a walk. Well, now, if that dispatch caller was told in that call, it's from Don, I've proved it. If the dispatch caller was told she walked over to Granny's trailer and when she came back, the child was gone, in that particular call, we know there's two different dispatch calls. We've only heard one. The dispatch caller would have relayed the information she was given from the caller. They don't make up information.
That's what I said. And when I asked you if I was confused, you walked where or you ran where?
People are arguing this point on the comment section of my video where I'm going to have to do it. It's just ridiculous because the whole purpose of a dispatch caller is to relay accurate information. It is the heart of her job. It's what she's paid to do. So if she can't do that properly, I'm not
going to say I took a walk only 30 feet away. What I would say is I walked out of the house and went over to my mother's camper. That's how you would word it.
And you would, and
I'm not going to say I went and took a walk. You'd say I went over to the camper. It's only a few feet away.
But people are so naive to think the dispatch caller's next question isn't going to be, where's the camper?
That's what I'm saying.
And you're going to say the camper's outside my front door. You're going to say
always ask you questions when you call in. You call from somewhere. She doesn't hear the exact number on the address, or he's going to ask you, hey, repeat the number, please. Slow down, please. I don't understand what you're saying, please.
Absolutely. That's exactly that. The dispatch caller will not phone it through until she's clear in her own head as to what she's just heard. So there'll be many questions a dispatch caller will ask to clarify the information.
Right. Because that's their job. If they're properly trained, they know to always ask before putting it into the computer.
Absolutely. This is why dispatch calls, as you know, especially we saw this in the George Floyd trial. The dispatch call was material evidence in that trial. It formed a massive part of the evidence because the dispatch caller was getting calls in with regards to what witnesses were seeing. So she had to relay that accurately and give evidence in court as to what she heard on those dispatch calls. And it had to match what she then gave to the police, which it did. So this is what I'm saying. Dispatch callers, they don't just sit there on the phones. They also give evidence in any future cases to do with the dispatch call they received. They stand on trial. They were cross-examined by counsel as to all the information they received on the phone and the call they received. They are a very integral part of a criminal investigation. They cannot afford to make a mistake. They're trained not to make mistakes like that. They're trained to only relay what they're being told. They're not going to add anything in because they assume the camper was a walker. No, it doesn't work like that. And there's a lot of naive people out there who think the dispatch caller made it up because she thought the camper was a walker. No. The dispatch caller was specifically told the mother has left to go for a walk. She came back, the child was gone. That's what Don told the dispatcher. What Candace told the dispatcher is the flower planting story in the 2 minutes. So from there, the police already knew from day one there's a massive inconsistency with Don. Well, not day one, day 15 when she gave the interview to WJHL. There we have it. Massive inconsistency there. But that's still not enough to bring them in. It's not enough. It's just evidence of an inconsistency that will form circumstantial evidence, a little part of circumstance. It's still not enough to bring them in. Unfortunately, I wish it was, because it's in your face. It's right there for us all to see the lies and the reason why people are saying, they're trying to say, no, the dispatch caller. No, Candace got it wrong because she was high on the interview. Not the dispatch caller. Candace got it wrong.
Well, let's talk about the players in the here.
But when you see her say that, you have to look at what Don's doing. He's putting his arm around her back, almost digging her in her back. And ever since that interview, do you see how Don would never let her talk, ever, after that?
Well, he knows she's not the person that needs to be talking.
He knew from the WJHL interview she's not the one. She can't do it. She just has to be quiet. And I have
That's why you know there's something amiss in the story, because how is it that the ringleader of the conversation was not allegedly there?
Exactly. How is he talking?
Doesn't matter if she doesn't want to talk. She should be the one talking. She's the one that was there.
Exactly. How can he talk for her and he wasn't even there? This is what I'm saying. It's nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. And this is why I understand why people get frustrated. You know, people who've been following the case have days where it just gets on top. The frustration gets too much because it's almost like, why won't law enforcement bring them in? They will. It's just a waiting game. Honestly, I don't believe anyone's more frustrated than law enforcement. There's no way they're not more frustrated than us, because they know who is responsible. Imagine being a police officer on the case and you know who's responsible, but your DA is telling you haven't got enough. That's really hard. That's really hard. That's upsetting for law enforcement. That's really hard.
Let's talk about all the key players that came into the story. Let's talk about Robin in the church. Where's Robin now? No more pictures, no more visuals, and haven't heard anything from the pastor or the church.
I think she's disgraced the church, Queen. I think Candace has disgraced the church, and Don with all the swearing, using the N words, drinking. And I think the church, and what it is, I think the benefit, the reward, the damage outweighs the reward for the church at this point. I think the church has only got so much godliness in them where they had to say, do you know what? This is not good for the church, the image of the church.
Yeah.
And there has to come.
That's why I try to tell people that it's not about being a Christian, it's about common sense. You're not going to weigh me down with this BS and have me involved in something, and you're out here acting a fool when you should be concerned about your child.
And they're giving the church a bad name, Queen. Come on. I mean, from that perspective, other people could say the church is suspicious. That's one school of thought. But however, the church pastor's only human, right? He's human. He doesn't want the church have been dragged through the mud from the pastor's perspective. These people have done nothing to show respect for the church. None.
I wonder if they have any regrets, some of the people, of getting involved with them.
Yeah, I think Robin has.
You can't judge at the time when they came in, you didn't know what they were doing.
They don't get anything back from the Wells. The Wells are users, they're parasites, they suck all the goodness from the church. They use
anybody.
Yeah, they used the church on the day Summer went missing. They phoned Robin and David Dodson to give law enforcement the impression they were church people, wrapped up in the church. And I think Robin and David Dodson realized they were used. They were used. And there's no amount of godliness that can stop you being a human. You're not God, godliness is, that's one thing, but everyone's human at the end, between Monday to Thursday. The 7-day Adventists, they're normal, everyday working people, Monday to Thursday, Sunday to Thursday. When Sabbath comes, that's when the holy hat goes on. But what I mean is, Sunday to Thursday, they've got their normal jobs, they're normal people, and they have normal feelings of being used, being humiliated, Not only that, the lynch mob on social media that started accusing Robin and David Dodson of being involved.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if you were Robin and people started saying you're involved in this child's disappearance and you got a little child yourself. I'm removing myself. I don't care how godly I am. I'm gone. I'm out.
Yeah,
I'm out.
I think they should have in the beginning.
Yeah, I think what it is, they got too involved in the beginning. They got too involved because I think they wanted to not play, but Robin and David Dodson wanted to show how godly they were and how unjudgmental they were, following God's ways with the Seventh-day Adventist beliefs of, being non-judgmental, let's be godly-like and show the family support. But how far does that support stretch before you realise you're being made to look stupid, a fool, and the pastor made to look a fool because people were making videos about the pastor being involved possibly in, unsavory things. The pastor doesn't want that attached to his name because of these people who give nothing back to the church. And when I say don't give anything back, I mean respect, things that are free. You have not shown any respect for the support the church showed you, nothing. And I think that the church would have come to the point, even the pastor himself, where this is, I just don't want these people in my church anymore. I mean, yeah, his doors will always be open, but he I'm sure that they have caused more trouble than good for that church.
Well, I would have told him when he started talking nasty on social media, I would have kindly called him directly and told him, "You're not welcome back here."
Yeah, I would. I don't care how
you can't come back here.
We helped you, we stood up for you, and you have done nothing but bring disgrace to this church. And I can see that from the church's perspective. And Robin and the flute guy who looked weird, the flute guy, eccentric. He's just eccentric. I think he's just eccentric, plays the flute, or, anyone can look suspicious who comes forward to support Don and Candy.
The sad part is that nobody knew any of these people before the 15th. And sadly, you being called in and start being public, going by the house, people taking pictures, doing this, talking to the news, would rope you into some drama. But this happens every day with people. Just because they were either invited in or they willingly went in to be a part of something.
Yeah, I think they went in with good intentions, Queen, and I don't think they realised the day Candace called them, that night Summer went missing, that they were being used.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they realised. And now in hindsight, they can see that the church was being used as a veil of almost protection against the police, of their image, social media. And Don and Candace are users. That's what they do. Even when in the early days when they were being flooded with donations and gifts for the boys and, people were sending them everything to the house. Not one thank you. Not one thank you. I never heard, that it was even said by a creator who in the early days who was really supporting them. They never once said thank you. Candace, Don did, but Candace never ever said thank you for any help or donations, gifts they were sent for the boys. There was never a thank you. She just felt like she's entitled to it. And she's very ungrateful, and that comes part and part with her character of being numb. She's numb. What do people expect? How can you expect a numb person who's not even emotional about their own 3 boys being taken into care and their daughter being missing? She's numb because she's involved. She's numb because she's guilty of neglect of the boys. Why do people expect her to be upset that the boys are gone?
Well, how about this? Ernie asked her the other night, if you could say one thing to Summer, what would you say? She addressed the person that has the child. See, that's why she did something.
Absolutely. And adding to what you just said, I saw that as well. And what disturbed me about that is that in an earlier, whenever I get so confused now because there's so much of her now on panel with Ernie, I can't keep up. But Ernie also asked her about what does she think happened to Summer now, and she said, I think someone took her as their
wanted a child. Somebody wanted a child.
Yeah, somebody wanted a child and took her as their own. And I just thought, if you thought that, how did you not ask them to bring back your daughter?
Mm-hmm.
I'd be like, listen, bring my child back. If you really, she's full of doo-doo. She's full of it. And we know that. So that, you know what, I can't even analyse Candace anymore because I know everything she says is full of it. There's no point even trying to.
That's what you're supposed to do in the beginning of a story is plead with the abductor if someone's missing.
She's never pleaded once, never. And as you said, when Ernie asked her that question, she could not address Summer directly.
Because she's been numb. That's what people don't understand. She's been checked out with that baby.
Yes, and the only reason why she can't do that is because she's responsible for what happened. Why would she address her when
she probably checked out early on in she probably checked out. She might have been checked out during pregnancy. But definitely when the little girl got here, she was checked out. That's why she's gone. People don't really understand that.
Absolutely. She's been checked out. And people, as you said, these people don't have the sense to think, okay, you know, she's got 4 children. Why do they expect her to have maternal instincts? I don't understand, because she hasn't. Look at the other.
Because they're looking at themselves. I keep trying to tell everybody, these people that rallying with these psychopaths, they are looking at their own lives. It's just like everyday living. People usually identify with people who are similar to themselves. Absolutely. We uphold people for crazy various reasons, but there comes a point when you have to say to yourself, you know what, I can't uphold this behavior because it's nonsense.
Exactly. It just becomes nonsense. And when you pollute your brain with it, it's almost, you can't make sense out of the nonsense. You can't even try. You can't try because it is nonsense. That everything that comes out of Candace's mouth is a lie. It's nonsense. She's just,
I told people in the beginning, she's just like Don. She's worse than Don, tell you the truth now.
Yeah, and the thing is, people expect her by default because she's had children to be maternal. No.
Well, we talked about that the other night in my live. That animals breed every day.
Absolutely.
So it does not mean anything. You don't know how you're going to be when you're pregnant or when your child gets here. That's what you don't understand. It's not.
There's many women in this country that have a child and they get benefit money, right? And then by the time the child comes to 5, school age, you lose the income support. You have to go on job seekers allowance, which means you have to be seen to be looking for a job when your child becomes 5, because they'll stop your child support. You know, the income support to let you stay.
Welfare, but see, that's what people don't understand. In this state, you only have so long before you have to go out and start working. People don't understand the system.
When your child's 5, you've got to switch your welfare over to employment support, like looking for a job. You've got to prove you're looking. They're not going to, otherwise they're going to stop your money. So the thing is, what you see that happens here is when a mother has a child who's coming up to 5, she gets pregnant again. Because she wants the benefit, the money. She doesn't want to go to work. She wants to stay at home. And
they said she wasn't getting anything, which I don't understand. Why she wouldn't be getting 10 care here? Listen, I don't understand why she wouldn't get 10 care, because she would be approved for 10 care, and she'd also be approved for food stamps. So I don't understand why not. Because 9 times out of 10, she probably wouldn't put Dawn down as somebody that lived there or on the paperwork. I don't understand any of that.
I wouldn't be surprised if Candace is getting her benefits on the sly without Don knowing. I wouldn't be surprised, because they're not even married. I mean, she's got Candace Bly. That infers to me she's not married.
I found that interesting. She changed it as soon as all the hoopla started.
Yeah, and the thing is, even if she wasn't getting benefits as having the children, it still enabled her to stay at home without being pressured by Don to go and get a job.
Well, she still should have got food stamps and Medicare. You have children. Your children need to go to the doctor. It allows her to get shots. You want me to believe that she paid out of pocket for immunizations for 4
No. I don't see why people. Is there proof that she was not getting any Social Security money? Because I believe they would have been. I can't. Why would they not claim what they're entitled to? Why?
Yeah, there's no reason that she would not get medical. She's entitled to medical.
I don't understand why they would not be claiming. Why they would not be claiming what they're entitled to?
She's honorary.
Especially if you're a substance misuser, you need all the money you can for your drink and drugs.
That's my point. You're buying pizza and frozen food every day, and you want me to believe these same people would pay for immunization per child?
No way. I agree. And I believe when maybe even, like you said, you can't believe anything that comes out of Don's mouth when Don said, no, we don't get any money from the state. We're too proud.
They know the game. She knows not to put him on paperwork that he works, because his income might be too high for her to get any food stamps. You understand what I'm saying? Because they have a guideline here in the state, like most states. You have a guideline of how much food stamps you can get depending on your income. So she still would be qualified for the damn medical.
Yeah. Why would she not get it? It doesn't make sense. Why would you not get anything you're entitled to from the
Your kids
state for
have
your
to go to
children?
school, and they have to have immunizations before starting school. So
Yeah,
what do you
it's
say? So what?
mandatory.
She's going to the health department getting it free? Yes, you get them
Yes,
free there.
of course. She's not. I believe that Candice was getting money from the state and getting her benefits that she was entitled to. I don't understand why they wouldn't. It doesn't make any sense to me. As you said, she might not have been getting certain benefits because of Don's wages, but I believe she, like women do it all the time over here, they don't declare the partner and they get the benefits. They don't. She, especially if if she's not married, how are they going to find out? So,
Yeah, she's not telling her business. Nobody's going to know.
exactly. And she's down as fly. There's a reason for that. It's probably because she's on benefits and it helps her get more money if she detaches from Wells, the name Wells. She's a Candice Bly, Don's a Wells.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I believe that could be motivated by benefits.
So so you're saying you don't believe that she's married? Because some people say on social media they look like they saw a ceremony with her and him.
Yeah, but you know, Queen, that ceremony could have been anything.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I saw the ceremony and the pictures. I saw the pictures of Candice in a dress for the first time in her life, and the flowery granny dress. I saw that, but I don't know if that was a blessing. It could have been a blessing. It could be anything. Who knows? Who knows?
I didn't know. I didn't verify it, so I didn't know.
Same. But what I can say is nobody's come forward with all these web sleuths to say they found a marriage certificate online.
Well, because it's public record.
It's public record, but no one's brought it forward. So no one's found it. So that means to me, it may not be in existence because it's public record. So how have we not, in 10 months, with all the information these web sleuths have brought to the table, have we not seen a marriage certificate for Don and Candice? It might be because it wasn't a licensed marriage. It wasn't.
It may not have been. They may just call each other husband and wife, which a lot of people do in relationships.
Yeah, you know, like
the
ceremony of commitment. It could have been a commitment ceremony. It could have been anything, but if it was a legal marriage, it would be on public record, and apparently no one seems to be able to find a marriage certificate. So that would indicate to me that maybe it was not a legal marriage. And that could be for financial reasons as well. As
yes, I mean that too. He's been down this road already. He possibly didn't set up shop with her, had kids, but hell no, I'm not marrying her.
Exactly, and remember, the mum left Don the property.
Exactly.
Acres. Why would he want to marry it so she gets it? Why? I don't know.
He's very selfish.
Yeah, he strikes me as the kind of man, he ain't handing over no 11.5 ladies.
I got a feeling they're not married. Her name's not even on the deed to the house, nor is her name on his bank account.
No, because Don's clever. He's not going to sign over his wealth to Candice. I can't see that. And as we know, Candice is not the brightest tool in the box, so she's not going to be thinking of the legal implications of her name not being on paperwork. She's not smart like that. She's not savvy. She's not.
Well, let's talk about the rumors that I've been seeing in the queue with different people about her missing court dates. Do you have any verification that she has not gone to any recent court dates pertaining to the boy children?
No evidence. I can't. This is why I refuse.
Do you think they're going back to this household with these parents?
Never. Okay. Never, ever. From day one.
Do you think she severed her rights to the children?
Apparently, someone said yesterday, which is rumors, that she never. That woman who says she knows her on Ernie saying she never ever severed her rights. I don't think she severed her rights, Queen. I think she's going through the motions of the legal system with the kids. Where they have, I'm not sure what the law is in Tennessee, how long it is before you lose your
12 to 15 months.
Okay, so we're at the what month mark now? We're at the 9-month mark. 10. So the 10 for summer, 9 for the boys. So CPS have had custody of the boys for 9 months. So we'll see in the next 3 months or so.
Let me tell you something. It would take only probably no more than 6 weeks to 2 months for her to do everything she needs to do to comply with whatever they asked.
Absolutely.
And the fact that you had all these meddling people coming around pretending to be good neighbors and this and that, she and he should have had no problem getting their children back. I think it was self-evident by the time fall rolled around that both parents were not complying with getting the kids back.
Absolutely. I think that what happens is...
And you don't know what they found out, DHS.
Absolutely. From the children, from the boys. We don't know what the boys have said. We don't know what evidence they've managed to gain from the boys, which I believe, as we know, we've seen it in the Classic and Sincere case, that the the other children may be key players as prosecution witnesses, you know?
Yeah.
We've seen this. This could be the case in this case where they are relying on the evidence of the children to form the case against the parents. And they can't do that while the children, I think, are still tied legally to Don and Candace, because you can't I would think it would be very difficult for them to get the children to testify against their own parents if the parents still have legal parental responsibility. So, I mean, I know CPS have got responsibility, but I mean, you know, where it's just permanent detachment from the parents, like the state have 100% control of the custody of those children, i.e. Don and Candace have lost all rights of the children. Then it's a free game for the prosecution to bring the case and use the children as prosecution witnesses if they had to. They don't like to do that as well. I mean, that is something that the police hate doing, is using children as prosecution witnesses. But in a case so serious, they obviously won't have a choice because it's a serious case. But these are things the police and DA will try and avoid at all costs, is using children as evidence in such traumatic cases because of the damage and impact it can have on children. So ideally, they would love to bring a case without having to use the children, but unfortunately, they may have to use the children as witnesses.
Well, let's talk about
sad.
the people that's entered into her life here as of late. These side pieces. Do you believe these people have been using Candace to try to get information out of her to get a reward and to promote YouTube channels?
Yes, I was working on a parody thing about that. Yes, of course. There's a race, isn't there? It's almost, I can see it in my eye. There's a race between those two rivals, Mr. Shell and his rival. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's almost like you could see it as a comedy, Laurel and Hardy racing for the reward fund. That's what they remind me of, Laurel and Hardy.
They're sick to me. They're all sick to me, because this is what I told myself last night listening to a certain person's channel. All the joking, you know, I've told a lot of jokes up here too, talking about these crazy people.
I do.
But at some point, when your channel is just built on talking about a certain person all day and night,
no,
it's not funny, because it's still about the child. Even though you're not talking directly about the child, you're talking about their crazy parents and the side pieces, but it's still a mockery. It's sickening, because we all share a joke, you crack a joke about these stupid people, but in the end, it's not even like you're talking about a case of a missing person. It's like you're just talking about some crazy person on social media acting a damn fool.
No, absolutely. And Queen, I was listening to your brilliant live you did yesterday, and I was in the middle of, I was listening to you while I was making a video, and it stopped me, and I stopped making that video because it was going to have a joke. It was like a joke video, and I thought, no. And it was you who stopped me. I thought, no, it's so true. It's not a joke. You can't be making jokes out of these people, you know. It's a serious. These are real children involved. It's not funny.
Yeah, like I said, I own my part. I own my part, because I've talked bad junk about these fools. But when you're building the channel, what I'm saying is, when you're building your channel and your commentary, an entire hour for hour about the side pieces such as Benny, Ernie, when that's all you're talking about for a whole damn 2 hours, 3 hours, it's out of control, because I don't want to sit and talk about those people for hours.
Well, it's a distraction from the fact. Well, this is it. And then we become guilty of distracting from the real issue.
That's what I'm saying. Because I know why they're in this. I know they're doing this for attention.
These two buffoons, are a massive distraction.
They're just as lonely as these people. That's what people don't seem to understand. These side pieces, everybody that's jumped out of a car to tell the public what they heard sing, you are just like Don and Candace. And people can't seem to understand that.
And Queen, the way I see it, you could only relate to somebody and conversate like that if you were on their level in some respect.
Amen. Amen.
You would have to be.
Amen.
You would never catch me in a million years finding anything to laugh and joke with Candace or Don about, or even talk to them. I wouldn't want to talk to them. Why am I talking, affiliating and fraternizing with prime suspects? What does that mean?
That's the thing Ernie is oblivious to. It was just a while ago, he was talking about how they were acting, Don, this and that, their behavior. And now you're hanging with the wife and bickering with her about talking to BK and this and that. What the hell is wrong with you?
No, he's crazy. They're crazy, Queen. They're mad. They're mad.
You're arguing with Candace Bly about who she's talking to. I could care less.
I couldn't care less. Candice is using both of them for attention.
They're all using each other. How about that?
They're all using each other.
Exactly.
They're trying to get. This is how stupid these two
Peas
are.
in a pod. Plural.
Yeah, they're all peas in a pod.
They're
this
sick.
is why they can get on her level,
Yes.
because they are on her level.
Hey, this is what I want to tell them. Why don't all of you just go get naked, jump in the bed together,
Why
get it over with?
why don't they use their cash apps, go and get an inflatable hot tub, take it up to 110 Ben Hill Road, and go and sit in it with Candice and then get your confession, you know? Go and get her drunk and get it, whatever it is you're looking for this reward money, because I believe that they have this ridiculous delusion that the two of them, these arch rivals, are in a race for this reward money. Who's going to be the first to get a confession out of Candice and hand it over to law enforcement? They're stupid.
She's not going to tell nothing.
If TBI, FBI, and CARD team and all the best child abducted officers they had in the first few weeks couldn't get a confession, what the hell do these two buffoons think they're going to get out of it? It's risk and reward. If you're going to hide a child's body, you are certainly never going to talk about it. You're going to take that to the grave. In your mind, there's been a pact between the three of them, prime suspects, to take this to I reckon Don would have been, listen, if we all deny, they can't get us, because as long as they can't get the body, we're going to roll through. And this is why whoever thinks they're going to get Candice to confess must be born yesterday. They're never. She doesn't want to go to prison. Why is she going to confess anything to anybody?
Because her husband's already in jail, so she knows the game.
Ellie knows they're never getting a confession. If they were going to get a confession, they would have got it long time. They're not.
About Don. Let's talk about Don now and the situation, because I don't really like talking about that essay stuff, but he's in jail. He's probably very sick. How do you think he feels now hearing, because I'm sure somebody's been in his ear, telling him what's been going on the outside with Candice and her little boyfriends?
Banging his head off that cell wall, I would imagine.
Say what?
I reckon he's banging his head off that wall in his prison cell. Yeah. And punching himself in the face. You know what Don's like he did when he got arrested for the gun charges when Jose was at the house, and he started punching himself in the face. I can really imagine Don in that cell. And I know there's a certain creator
that lets you know he's a real wacko.
He's a wacko. He's going to be banging his head. He's probably got injuries where he's self-inflicted, split his head open. They've had to take him to the prison doctor to get stitched up, because he is going nuts in that cell. Nuts, because he's lost control. He's not in control of Candice.
Yeah, she's taking care of that.
He knows that she's a wild card. She's the wild card in his eyes, because what she did at the WJHL interview on the 29th of June. He knows that, oh my God, if they get into Candice, that's it. They're all gone. Him, Grandis, Candice. And I believe that the fact that he's lost control is killing him. And I believe that when he comes out, he's going to put the first person he's going to go for is that other buffoon down in Texas. Yeah. He's going to want to throttle him. I'm telling you, because that is in that Don's eyes, this is a massive betrayal of trust, because this man played like he was really his friend until the moment he went to prison. So, and the fact now that these two buffoons are trying to pin it on Don to get Candice to elicit a confession is going to be driving Don absolutely mad, because I know there's a certain creator who's already said they're sending Don all the intel on what's going on. So Don knows what's going on.
But you know what's interesting? He can't do a damn thing about it.
And he can't do a thing about it. That's why I told him the only thing he can do
is livid. You think he's not in there wishing he could crawl through a vent and get out?
I'm telling you, that's what I told you. The only thing Don
can do, like Ted Bundy, buddy.
He's banging his head off that wall. I wouldn't be surprised if they had to put him in a padded cell to stop him injuring himself. I'm telling you. I reckon he's lost his temper so many times, banged up in that cell, banging the door, getting out of it.
I bet you every day he sits up and think of a way to try to get out of that jail.
I believe you. I agree. I believe he's looking for what. I bet he's fuming. He's fuming.
Yeah.
Fuming.
She didn't listen to nothing I said. I told her don't say nothing, be quiet.
And then what he's realised, he's fuming, he's lost control of
exactly.
And these two buffoons.
Of the narrative.
Of the narrative. And you've got one buffoon to the left trying to suck information out of her, and one buffoon to the right trying to suck information. It's almost like a tug of war.
Clown City.
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. And then what happened yesterday when Candice wouldn't answer the phone because Ernie said, oh, she's coming on panel, and she wouldn't answer the phone. You get these, he brings this woman on panel screaming, crying, saying, just say what happened. They're leading themselves up to getting arrested for threatening Candice to confess. That's the next thing you're going to see.
This is what I don't understand with Candice. She's lonely, obviously, but everybody that's ever dealt with her has turned on her. So why are you even talking to these people? Period. Because you've already seen what Jennifer did, Allie, H, whomever. So why would you then go back into the belly of the beast with somebody new, acting like they're supporting you? They're your friend, when all they do is run to YouTube, find a YouTuber to bring a receipt. And this Shan person, whoever she was, I don't know how long she was friends with her. All that's shown up despicable, even for it being Candice. It shows you she doesn't have any real friends, but yet she keeps talking to people. I don't get it.
It's, you know, I've tried to work that out, and the only conclusion I can come to why she's so foolish with these YouTubers is and the betrayal of trust, and she keeps going back to be betrayed again and again.
And again, yes.
Because she's got zero self-esteem.
Yes,
that's the only thing. Zero. Her self-esteem is minus 20. It's below zero. Because this guy, this other buffoon, went and revealed a property list, insinuating her son. And she still spoke to him afterwards, not addressing the issue of why did you say that about my son? She didn't care that he dragged her son's name through the mud, and she didn't care. That shows me you've got no values, you've got no self-esteem, you've got no self-respect for your children, no self-respect for yourself. You've got nothing. There's nothing.
But see, the point I've always made to people about these people is that this is how they've been living before June 15th. That's why you have this case where it is a missing child, other children in state, other children out of their care, jail, a violation of probation, drug use, alcohol use. This is how they were living beforehand, which is the sick part. And people knew that these people were living like this with their children. Some may have called, maybe something was done, something wasn't. Well, we know it couldn't have been nothing major because the children were still in their possession up until June 15th.
Absolutely. It couldn't have been major. That's what I'm saying. People
That's
are
why I'm trying to tell people, stop listening to those lies, because somebody has to bring a receipt to say, yes, we were investigating them before June 15th.
I agree. And I'm hearing people saying, oh, the CPS was supposed to be coming on the 16th. That's why where's the receipt that the CPS were going on the 16th with a warrant? Where?
Yeah. Well, then why did you let the kids stay there for 6 weeks if you were investigating them? And
absolutely.
Now that makes no sense.
If they had a warrant to go in on the 16th and they served, because I'm hearing now rumors, they served a warrant on the 14th. That's why Don was all upset when he was at work and that guy Dudley saw him upset on the phone. People are now saying it's because Candice told him CPS had put a warrant, they're coming on the 16th they have to produce the children. And I don't believe it, because there's no receipt. And if they did have a warrant, why were the boys not taken on the 16th of June?
That's my point. So I keep trying to tell people, there's so much to this case that makes no sense.
It makes no sense.
Everybody's crying that I got evidence that they were investigating them. Okay, well, they're investigating them. You would be a fool to get rid of your child. Let's start there.
Absolutely.
You would be a fool to get rid of your child if you are being investigated for any crimes against your children. You're going to be the first ones they're going to look at.
Absolutely. If that was that theory had any credibility, the police would have a motive. A motive is enough to bring a charge.
That's my point. Then you gave a child alcohol in a swimming hole. No arrest for that. They had to catch you lying by now to some degree. No arrest for that. If he was molesting the child, which everybody loves to keep crying about, he touched her. Well, then why don't they arrest him for molesting his child? Would there be some type of evidence? Other children said yes, and him touching the kid, or what?
Absolutely. It's all rubbish. It's all
I'm going to kill my kid because I've been touching her and I'm worried about her going to the doctor. Well, remember, they don't have medical. So what doctor were they going to?
So what doctor were they going? Look, we can see by the children's teeth that And Don, by his own admission, told another creator, I've heard the conversation where he said the middle child's teeth, all the teeth were rotted. And Don said it seems to run in the family. But the fact, what I mean is,
that's BS.
What
That's
I've got out of that, we know that's BS. That just comes from
I think I had a woman tell me that recently about her teeth. And I just looked at her and said, no, have fun. Just you don't brush your damn teeth and don't floss.
That means you don't brush your teeth and you've got no dental hygiene. That's what it means. It means the middle boy may have never had a toothbrush. That's how I see that. That's what. Maybe he's never seen Colgate before. I don't know. But the fact that Don said all the middle child's teeth were completely rotted would indicate to me that CPS could not have been involved, because no CPS is going to have a child with all his teeth rotting and not demand those parents have a certain date to take that child.
I saw the one child, the older child, in a photo with her while he was cutting the grass or doing something. He had a full rack of teeth, but they were butter yellow.
Yeah, and we saw Summer's front teeth in the last 6 months of her before her disappearance, black at the front, rotten, the front teeth. So that we know they weren't going to the dentist. They weren't. And then there's also evidence that one of the boys got an injury on the dirt bike. He also had a burn. They never received hospital treatment.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, and so we know they were not receiving hospital treatment. Maybe the vaccines were something she just had to do to keep CPS off her back.
Yeah.
I.e., the doctor's going to tell CPS if you don't get the vaccine. So she had to get the vaccine.
Well, they have to, that's state law, sweetheart. You have to be vaccinated before starting school. So it doesn't matter about what was going on in the house, not going on in the house. State law is they have to have vaccines to go to school here.
So she's not silly. She had to comply with that, and she did. She did the bare minimum. She
all
got
the other accusations don't mean nothing. The law says you got to have vaccinations.
Yep. And she complied. She got the vaccines because she knows if she didn't, CPS would come knocking. So she had to get the vaccines. It's state law, as you said. It's not mandatory here. But
well, let me just boo in the chat. I live in Tennessee and I don't drink Mountain Dew. Just for the record.
I'm dying to taste Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew is prevalent with Caucasian people here in East Tennessee.
Okay. I've no idea what
I'm addressing somebody in the chat that's talking about what's common here. Yes, a lot of people drink it, but there's a lot of white people that drink Mountain Dew here, not other races. I don't see a lot of black people drinking Mountain Dew. I'm just keeping it 100.
Is it lemon and lime, Queen? Is it a lemony taste or something? I don't know.
It's very sweet. It's a sweet drink. That's why a lot of these people here don't have teeth in their mouth. Between the Mountain Dew and the meth, that's why they ain't got no teeth.
The two M's, the M&Ms, the Mountain Dew and meth. Oh God, that's funny. That's funny. But
I'm just keeping it real.
Yeah.
A lot of people here don't brush their teeth, and a lot of people are on drugs.
It's the
and they drink drinks and stuff all day.
Yeah. But I think we you know, Queen, it's a big, and these buffoons are just making a mockery of the case, and it's just, I'd love to be a fly on the wall.
She doesn't care. She and the husband both never cared. So that's why I know they did something to the child deliberately, because this isn't how you would behave if your child is missing. You would plead to the abductor. You would help to search people. You would go out and meet the search people. You would go out and stand at the fence, the road, to see what they're looking at. You would be in tune to what's going on about your kids.
I mean, Queen, look, when Chris McDonough was at the waterhole with her and she didn't even go over and say hello to David Radar and the EchoSearch team.
Exactly.
Disrespectful.
Very disrespectful.
And the only reason that disrespect took place is because she knows it's futile. Their search is futile because she knows what happened. That's why she couldn't look at David Radar in the face.
Yeah.
Why else are you not going to meet and greet with the searchers who are searching for your child and not even
because they've shown that they 9 times out of 10 this was orchestrated. So that's the reason why they're not going to be in people's faces. They don't want nobody asking them anything or getting feedback from them because they have checked out.
When you go and look back at that footage, now we know that it was EchoSearch that are in the background, and you see Candace hiding almost behind Chris McDonough. You see it. She almost uses Chris McDonough as a shield. And that is when she started crying. You know when Chris said,
Yeah, I
"Oh,
remember he asked her questions. Yeah, it's the first time she cried. Yeah,
yeah," and that's because EquiSearch are in the background as well.
But not during the interview with the news lady telling you what happened on that day. Hello? I guess her microphone's messed up. Thank you all for joining me. As most of you know, Summer Wells went missing allegedly 10 months ago to this date, the 15th of June 2021. It is now April 15th, 2022. 2 days before Easter. Happy Easter to all of you in the chat. It's a very sad, baffling, disgusting tale because you really don't know what to believe. The people who are supposed to be responsible for the child and the other children have fell off, and all they've done is make a mockery of the case of their child and other children on social media, and people have kindly obliged them by playing along with them, playing these Game of Thrones, dirty games, because they're just like them, evenly yoked in mischief, mayhem, and it's sick and sad. And there are more Candaces out here, more Dons out here, and there'll always be a Candace Bly and a Donald Wells in the universe. And that's what some of you need to understand, that this will not be the first case of a children abused, missing. There will be one tomorrow, the day after, and the day after. There will probably be some hoopla pertaining to the case. There's going to be some he said, she said, speculations, innuendos, psychics, all of that, meddling people, all of that. Because most people don't know how to stay out of the way. Stay in their lane. Just be a spectator. And I feel sorry for the child, the children. Because as I said, they didn't ask to be here. They didn't ask to come here. They didn't choose Candace and Don, just like we didn't choose our parents. And the fact that these people never played with the abductor, the alleged abductor, tells you everything you need to know. The fact that Donald Wells was the orchestrator and the ringleader from day one, yet was not there on site when the child went missing, is a bingo card and evidence that something happened to the child, possibly deliberately. No emotions for the child, no crying for the child, no pleading for an abductor, never coming forward to talk, meeting with the Churchill and the Midwest EquiSearch tells you everything you need to know about the case. You see, it's what you do and don't do. And yes, everybody grieves differently, but how are you grieving when no one told you the child was dead? So there was no reason to be talking about the resurrection less than 1 week of a child being missing. There's no reason to talk like that, because you should have hope that your child's alive. That if a person has your child, he or she or they will return your child to you. You're not thinking that your child's dead. You're not wanting your child dead. You would only be wanting the child dead as if indeed you killed the child and you know the child's dead and not coming back. No, I've never had any desire to contact them. I don't deal with the devil. Foolishness deliberately. See, I'm a watcher. I'm a spectator. I watch first. I watch first. And there was nothing about Candace and Don that appealed to me to reach out to them. For what reason? And anybody that wants to reach out to them, you're sick. You're just as sick as they are, because they're never going to tell you the truth. This is a game to them. They got that child gone, and they're reveling in the fact that she's gone. Candace Bly can't even answer a question about her own child. She couldn't tell you the truth about what happened to the child on the 15th. She loses track of time, but yet she's posting to social media after 6 p.m. That should tell you everything you need to know. You can't be looking for your child but posting to social media. It was all a ruse. I only have a few windows of time to get this lie concocted about my baby missing. So you go out hooping and hollering, pretending that you're screaming, looking for your child. Stay woke. Isn't that what Jacqueline and Trezell did? Drove around the block pretending to look for 2 little boys that they were taking care of, but they did it for show, knowing somebody would say, yeah, I saw them get in the van. Yeah, I saw them going around the corner. Stay woke. So she hooped and hollered for show. So somebody could go back and say, yeah, I heard her hollering for her child. You see, you all don't really understand what you're dealing with here. These are two machines up here. Happy Easter, dear. These are two machines up here. And sadly, their aura has drawn in, sucked in more sick machines to ride the ride with them. And that's what happens with criminals. They reach out and suck the life out of other people to ride the ride. How do you think people are manipulated every day? Somebody has to get in their ear first. Stay woke. Somebody has to get in their ear. Hello, Mr. Hunter. How are you? Somebody has to get in their ear. And then the ones who willingly go out searching for these demons, there's something wrong with them because there are missing people all over the world. Are you in their inboxes and Messenger trying to reach them to talk to them about their missing husband, child, grandmama, sister, cousin? What made you reach out to Candace Bly and Donna Wells? What was it about these people that you felt like you had to contact them to say, hey, I feel bad for you. I want to help you find your kid. I want to be your friend. Why don't you watch people first before reaching out? Watch their demeanor, see how they carry themselves. Listen to what they have to say first before reaching out. And then after you've reached out, you saw signs they were not right and proper, that they didn't seem concerned, didn't weep for the child, but yet you still rode the ride anyway. You didn't back out. So you're just as guilty. You see, a lot of people are similar. That's why we have the crimes that we have. Because many people will say, well, how's everybody the same, acting the same, doing the same, walking the same? Because they are. Ding, ding, ding. They are like minds. Like minds gravitate toward one another. Why do you think you have people that are partners in crime? Crimes. Because they have the same mindset. And they become evenly yoked. And then they go out and latch on to other people to draw them in to the fold. Pull them into the nest. Bait them. It happens every day. And that's what has happened in this case. Dirty parents use and manipulated the church. Anybody they can find with a pulse. Some of you have fallen for it. And some of you gravitated toward them because you're ill. And a lot of you will never admit that deep down inside, you're just as tainted and sick and wicked as Don and Candace. That you are also off and missing something upstairs. Because to gravitate towards utter foolishness willingly means you are not well either. And you can't keep using the excuse, I'm trying to help them find their child. I care about children. I'm a child advocate. No, you don't. You do not care for children because you don't care about yourself. Because you have to deal with the parents in order to get to the bottom of where the child is. And if the parents are acting a donkey's ass, then why would you want to be a part of that? You can support the cause for the child separately on your own without being involved with Don and Candace or any other foolish parties. You are evenly yoked and a part of the problem. If you want to be helpful in this world, be the solution, but not the problem. We all have decided to talk about these people, make jokes about these people, but when it becomes every day, that is the only thing that you're on, is talking about these fools every day, all day. It's not helping. It's not helping find the kid. It's just entertainment. It's just entertainment. And that's why the case is in the shape that it's in, because we never had anything to begin with pertaining to the child. No evidentiary material brought forth by police, just the ramblings on and on about the parents. People who knew them coming out talking. And then that got the ball started with the gossip. And then other people started jumping out of the clown cars to give their rendition of their dealings with Candace and Don and it was out of control months in. And I pray another missing child's case never jumps off like this one. That people will say to themselves, I'm not going to get involved in that and go bother these people's parents because I shouldn't be doing it. And I'm seeing signs that something's not right with the parents. I'm just going to be a spectator. I can talk about it, but I ain't going to bother these parents. You have to know your place. Because let me tell you all something. There are a lot of people dead right now in the cemetery because they didn't know their place. They meddled in things that didn't concern them. They stirred up things that didn't concern them. They willingly went looking for trouble, and they found it. And some of you are not realistic to think trouble can't meet you at your door or out in that street from meddling. You have a lot of sick people out here, and these two parents to me are sick. So know that there are other people just like them that wouldn't mind popping off on something you've done or said in a video, in a comment section, social media post. There are ill people like that will hunt you down and beat the brakes off of you because it has happened. And it will continue to happen, such as what happened in New York City. Somebody got mad at the world and decided to shoot people on a train. And he has no remorse. And it's obvious in his walk, his demeanor, the way he carried himself. He was oblivious to what he did on that train. Same way these people are oblivious to what they did to that little girl and their other children. You people better wake up out here. This is not a game. This is serious business. Yeah, you'll live longer. Because there are people who will go out here and exact a crime on something you said or did. You rallying behind somebody. They'll find out where you live and they'll wait on you. And a lot of you don't really think this happens, but it happens all the time. Because most people are murdered by people they know. They've had some type of dealings with them or ran across their path. Road rage, neighbor, something. Co-worker, ex-lover, wife, boyfriend, family member. It's close. Now imagine somebody finding you because they didn't like something that you said. You all don't really realize how sick people are out here. And I think about that often when I look at some of the videos in the queue and some of the stuff that people say in their commentary and going on and on and on about these fools. All it takes is one unstable person to start digging and find out where you are and pay you a little visit and tell you, I don't like what you said in the chat. Oh, I don't like the video you made. People are ill out here. And you cannot assume that you cannot become the hunted in participating in this junk, because this is utter junk. It has become junk. It's nothing about Summer Wells or her brothers. There's no respect for any of these kids. That's the reason why they're not here with their parents. And one's possibly decedent, because there's never any love and respect for them. If you'd like to donate to the channel, $ Beganji 129 Cash App. Thank you for the super stickers of the donations. God bless all of you. Have a happy Easter and a safe weekend. Please continue to pray for Summer Wells. I pray that this case will come to an end. We are 10 months into the date today that a call went into the Hawkins County Dispatch Center that a child was missing. And I don't know if this is the exact date that she went missing, but all we know from accounts, this is the said date. So we're going to roll with it until law officials tell us different. Many things have been said about the parents, about the child, the storyline. But in the end, the only people that know the whole truth are the people that got her gone. They're the ones that know the truth. And if they will ever tell the truth, I do not know. How many people are involved? I do not know. But I know that something's got to end. And it's time for the SHIT show to end as well. because it's a mockery. And it's unfair to her. Because as I said, Summer Wells and her brothers and other children did not ask to be here, and nor did they choose their bio donors. So how's it fair to them? It's not fair to them. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you, Mr. Hunter, for joining me. You all have a happy Easter. God bless all of you. This is Everyday Shenanigans. Thank you, Critical Crime, for joining me. You all be safe.